We're live.
Sweet. What's up, everybody?
We are in the building. Antoine's here. GM, what's up, dude?
What up, Antoine?
So packed today on the speech markets. Kadeen in here. Let's cook. What's up, dude? So we got Trump, Walz today. We got Harris. They also got Pete Buttigieg and some Nancy Pelosi markets, and there's a ton of markets. We're just gonna be sticking to the ones that at least have some volume, have some liquidity on them.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love that these are a thing. I was like super surprised this morning when I saw a Pelosi market, a Buttigieg market pop up for tonight's speeches. It's a little tight on the timeline. So yeah, we've got some good content for you on the Walz speech. Sorry, Walz. I don't want to mispronounce his name there, Mr. Walz. Trump speech and the Kamala speech tomorrow.
Sick. Yeah. So Trump speaking in like 10 minutes, unless he's late, and then he'll speak whenever the hell he shows up on the podium. A little bit of a smaller market here for Trump. We're at 185K. His last one went over 1 million, but I think part of that is this isn't like a major speech. There's also a lot of different action going around.
Yeah.
Kamala has 1.1 million on her side of the market, but let's do some quick hitters here, and then we can probably live stream some of his speech while we also talk about the other markets in between screaming for yeses. So to quickly go over everything we're looking at here, we got Tampon, Comrade, Kamala, Iran 3+ times, Israel ceasefire, Putin, Zelensky, Venezuela 3+ times, oil, World War III, nuclear, China 3+ times, Green New Scam, and crypto/Bitcoin. T-word in the chat. Jim, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
So what we've learned from these markets so far, Tyriel, is Trump markets definitely lean on the yes side.
Yeah, Trump markets are yes markets. The no's are extra sweaty on Trump markets. We all know this guy doesn't really like to stay on topic. He likes to riff. That's a hallmark of Trump. So, you never know where the guy's going to go all the time. So one thing about this week that is a little different. So these events are not rallies. These are not like a traditional press conference where Trump is going to deliver remarks and then take questions from reporters. This is like a very specific presser. It's meant to be counter programming to the DNC events that are going on this week. So every day has a different theme, just like the DNC, right? So today's theme is national security. He's going to be delivering this speech in North Carolina, battleground state. JD Vance will be there as well. So expect him to stick very tightly to like foreign policy topics, foreign trade, national security. Could be some riffing, but we're mostly going to be in this lane. Interesting note on his speechwriters as well that I've heard is that they're trying to work some of the Trump riffs into his actual speeches on the teleprompter to try to keep him a little tighter versus going on some of these tangents that he does. So they're working in some Comrade Kamalas. They're working in some Chinas. They're working in some Irans to kind of tee him up for his riffs.
Y'all, no odds on couch on this one, unfortunately, but I think they are on the Walz and the Harris markets. So it's going to start pretty soon. So let's give our top three, all yeses, trying to stay on the safe side. What are your top three here?
Yeah, top three: Comrade Kamala, China 3+ times, and World War III. So Comrade Kamala is a new attack line that Trump has really latched onto in the past week. They've really been hammering home this message of dangerously liberal. And Trump loves using this in particular with the policy proposals that they've putting out the past 2 weeks. As they're communists, she's radical, she's going to turn this place into Venezuela, things along those lines, right? So I think Comrade Kamala, he's used it in every single presser this week so far. I think they will continue to write in and use Comrade Kamala today. Really like this pick. It was tremendously underpriced earlier today in the 60s. Noticed it took a nice little spike up here in the past hour, but I still like it in the low to mid 70s.
Nice.
World War
you look like Shane Gillis. He actually is Shane Gillis.
Palmer would completely agree with you.
I like the odds on Comrade Kamala. China 3+ times. Like definitely see him saying it, but you just got to be aware if you're taking those that you're risking 15% up for 100% down. So it's gonna sting if those like higher price ones don't hit. Your risk return's a little different there. So just keep that in mind. World War III at 88 could have gotten in a little bit cheaper, not too crazy cheaper.
Yeah, World War III and China both stayed, in the 80s range. So they never really went too deep. However, both of those are just really go-to Trump lines, right? Trump lately has really been liking to talk about how U.S. standing has been just dropping in the world under the Biden-Harris administration. He loves to go on how they're going to get you into World War III. They're going to set off the next depression, worse than the Great Depression. So I highly expect World War III. He loves the China rants. That's just hallmark Trump, whether it's about trade, whether it's about nuclear power. When I say nuclear power, I mean nuclear bombs. He's all on that. Just yesterday's speech, he was talking about China's nuclear production and how they could be a key player with Russia in World War III. So I think China is a great one. Highly correlated to these World War III discussions is nuclear. Iran 3+ times, Israel, Putin, all good pickups on the yes side as well. Again, Trump likes to run through the lines of President Xi, Putin, Hamas, Iran. He loves doing that whole thing. So I expect a lot of that going on today in a national security themed speech. Iran 3+ is interesting there in the low 60s. It's not quite as much of a favorite as China, but it's very, very heavily integrated lately in his talks. So I could see Iran 3+ hitting.
Nice. Somebody asked, when is this speech that this market's on? It's going to start any minute now. And then we'll also talk the Walz market, which is late tonight, Eastern, and then the Kamala markets, which is tomorrow, late night. There's no market for Elon. Probably doesn't mention him on a national security thing other than some sort of riff. So yeah, what do you gotta ask you this. What do you think about tampon here?
Man, so this is a tough one. I'm a tampon bro. I've been riding with y'all all the way through. My thing with tampon here is this is not going to be a domestic policy conversation. This is going to be about national security. I do not think he's going to go on the tampon riff. That said, you never know with Trump, right? So it's one of those ones I wouldn't bet for on this one, but I wouldn't bet against it. His previous pressers this week did not use the tampon line, which is why I lean a little bit more on the no side if you had to make me pick. But again, this is Trump. God knows what riff he could go on. I wouldn't take either side here.
Yeah, maybe he protects his boy JD Vance, and that's how he makes his tampon. You want Vance, you don't want tampon Tim.
Yeah, and interesting here. So loading up the stream, it looks like he has a substantial audience here for this. It is not just the press corps. This this is going to be a live audience, that significantly changes Trump's tone, right? So in front of a live audience, expect more riffing, expect, more of the, aggressive attack lines. I feel even better about Comrade Kamala now, seeing this crowd. I'm actually now seeing this crowd. Yeah, I still say stay out of Tampon, but Tampon Tim really gets the crowd going. So there is a chance he riffs here on the Tampon talk.
And if he hits it, then he's hit every yes on tampons on his market. So, keeping the trend alive. It'll be 4 for 4 if he does it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've made some bags on tampon so far. So it's like, I'm definitely a tampon bro. Another diss from Discord. He hit a 15K profit on the tampon. Like, well played, sir.
Yeah, that's badass. Hard to get that much volume on this one. It's a smaller betting market. So it's going to be more taking lighter stabs, just looking at the order books. Also, going into this speech, the spreads are getting pretty bad. Like 12 cents. So just a heads up if you're interested in some of these and you look and you see a high spread. I mean, it's pretty normal going into the event. People don't want to have liquidity on the books and get blown out. But if you're trying to get in just in general, if the spread's like above 7 cents, you probably want to be making limit orders and trying to get more bang for your buck.
Yeah. Another interesting one here on the bottom of this list is Green New Scam. So Green New Scam is a favorite attack line of Trump. Loves to hammer the Democrats over this. Originally, I was thinking, no on this, right? Because this is
national security. But since you see the people in the rally.
Yes, exactly. Now I'm starting to wonder, may he hit a Green New Scam in the middle of his, Comrade Kamala turning this country into Venezuela rant.
Yeah, the biggest,
it's a little interesting.
We like is Comrade Kamala, but the spread's wide and that's like shooting up. It was great earlier in the 60s, 70s. Not much volume on there. World War III, we like more volume in World War III that you could get in on, and then China 3+ times. But just in general, Trump markets are very much yes markets, and they weren't really priced at that level when we first started these, like, a couple speeches ago. Now they're getting, the market's pricing them a lot more efficiently. So there's a little less cream on the top of this one. But
yeah. And I mean, like, Comrade Kamala has moved up 10 cents just since we've been on stream. Like it's moved up from the low 70s. It was in the 60s yesterday when that was just incredibly appetizing. And then it's really gained steam. And other strong yes picks here that are very highly correlated, right? Are Israel, Putin, nuclear. Those are all very correlated to the discussion tonight. I expect those to come up. Oil is also an interesting pick. It's a little bit high priced at 84. But again, that's another highly likely thing to come up. He's going to work in like a drill baby drill. He's going to talk about oil, and he's going to talk about how that's going to strengthen our national security in some way.
While we wait for him to speak, and we're making no commitments to stay on for the entire stream because this guy can go for a very long time. He has a lot of youthful energy, maybe more than even us. So while we wait for him, let's quickly look at the Walz market, which also looks like a lot's been trending up to the yes here.
Yeah. Walz market is also likely to be a yes market. Is that couch at 90? Oh, coach. I thought it was said couch for a second. At 91, I was like, what are people thinking here? I like the Walz market. Top picks here are abortion. On the yes side, top picks are abortion, coach, teacher, JD Vance. On the no side, we've got debate. So debate, I think if you're looking at an ROI perspective, is going to be your best return here, since the market has run some of those other picks up quite a bit.
Wow, you got debate
So
pretty juicy, huh?
yeah, on the no. I'm picking a no here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the reason I like this one is because one, like this is going to be a DNC speech. This is Tim Walz's opportunity to introduce himself to America, right? He's going to be talking about his family. He's going to be talking about like his resume, his experience. He's going to be talking about like his vision for America, and he will be a bulldog and attack his opponents, but it's not going to be entirely focused on that, right? So like the debate is kind of like an extension of one of those attacks. If he does bring it up, which he has in rallies in the past, it's been in the context of JD and I are going to sit down for a little chat on October 1st. You know, it's he brings out like the dad lines that make him feel like more relatable to, you know, everyday people. He doesn't
Isn't
say
like
like
saying debate.
I'm going to Trump and Vance are teasing us about the debate or like, you know, things like along those lines. He just doesn't say debate. He uses it as an opportunity to kind of like take a jab and like be funny and relatable. So I don't think he's going to say debate. If he does say debate, it's going to be a jab at JD Vance.
So your top
JD,
three here were abortion, coach,
mhm. Yeah, I think
and
abortion, even at 75, is kind of interesting. Um, you know, cornerstone of the DNC, if you guys have been watching, has been women's reproductive rights, and they're really heavy on the Trump abortion ban attack lines. That's just it. Every single keynote speaker has talked about it. They're going to continue to do so. Walz always does it in his rallies. Um,
so
I
yeah,
don't think
nice value
today's
on
the
the
day
west
he
side.
decides to stop.
I said nice value on the west side. I meant nice value on the yes side there. Still at
Yeah,
75
yeah, I
with how
think
much it's been
that's
used at the DNC and
yeah.
him
I think the
previously.
market's mispricing this. The fact that this is lower than weirdo or weird makes no sense to me. And actually, if you look at
You can do
the
the
DNC,
abortion weird hedge. Yes, abortion. No, weirdo.
yeah, and weirdo has weird weirdo has really been like less used at the DNC. So they've used some pre-recorded attack ads talking about how Trump is dangerously weird and like Vance is weird. None of the speeches have contained the weirdo remarks in them. They've kind of steered away from that. Again, like I was talking about this on our last stream. Weird slash weirdo could kind of be interpreted as like an attack on actual voters versus the heads of the party, right? And it creates
Mm-hmm.
this very controversial like issue to fight over, right? So I think he may stay away from Weird Weirdo, even though it was his tagline, right? He came up with Weird Weirdo. I think he might steer away from it. If this thing keeps going up in price, like I'm going to start taking nibbles at no.
Yeah, big spread. Some smart money on the no. You got Anon, Just Cam on the no. Even though Just Cam says he's just having fun with these markets, not being too serious about them. 13-cent spread though, so the bid is your friend.
Absolutely. Yeah,
What's
tampon
up,
is one I got.
BB8? Heyo.
Hey, um,
Did Obama say
coach.
weird?
No. Coach. So Tim Walz is a former. He's a middle class guy. Spent a big portion of his career as a teacher, high school football coach. He's super proud that he won a state championship with them as an underdog. He's very likely to continue to use coaching slash football references in this speech. He likes to say things like, like we're leaving it all out on the field for these next 70 days, right? Like we're doing everything we can. Or he's talking about like attacks on Project 2025, where he's like, when somebody comes up with a playbook, they intend to use it, right? Like things along those lines. Like my experience as a coach tells me this, right? So the one thing you got to be careful on the coach market is coaching does not count. Coach only counts, right? So if he uses the thing of, from my experience coaching, no go,
hit.
no go. So
BB8 said he did say weird. Obama did say weird, but just not about Trump.
did he say
must have-
weird? I must
He
have
must
missed
have just
that.
said it in weird context.
Yeah. And there is like an outside chance on some of these that they say it in like a completely different way, right? Like the Obama hope market was a great example of that. Like there's so many different ways that you could have sliced hope into that speech. It was super likely.
Yeah, I did say I
Yeah.
think I liked. I thought yes, weird was interesting low on Obama just because you got to be careful with those common words, right? Those more common words, people can, throw them out there. Tampon probably not coming out for Waltz tonight.
Yeah. Tampon. No.
Hillbilly.
I don't see a hillbilly coming out. He's never mentioned hillbilly. Army is an interesting one. Again, he's going to be talking about his resume. He's going to be talking about, his experience. So, him saying, I was a member of the Army National Guard is pretty likely. He uses that line quite often in rallies and campaign events. Again, it's just, I don't really like it at 85. Like if I could take Army in the 70s, I would take it. But I don't like it at 87. Generally speaking, when things start getting up to the 90 cent level, I'm just like not going to touch it. Couch at 18 cents.
Yes, dude.
Some people really, really want the yes. And then that's kind of how like Teacher is, right? Like Teacher, if you can get that in like, the 80s, that's awesome. But once it's creeping up to like 93, 95, it's like risk reward, just, not
That's
quite
right.
there. Yeah, not quite
losing
there.
on those really stinks too.
Oh yeah. I was saying that last night about the Obama speech. I was like, dude, can you imagine the stench in the room if he just like somehow doesn't say Donald Trump or Joe Biden? I mean, because Joe Biden was trading at 99.9% yes. And we all knew he was probably going to say it, but like, imagine it's just like some alternate universe and he does not say it. And you're just screwed on a 99.9% bet. That's just,
yeah.
The pain is unbearable.
Yell says, serious question for Kicks and Turtle. Are you interested for blast prediction market with native yield? I mean, like native yield's like certainly like interesting, but it's kind of like, it's just giving you a little bit more percents on like really long bets, right? It's not so awesome that it just like attracts a ton of people solely off of that. Plus, I've heard rumors.
Oh shit,
that
he's up. Trump is up.
Sweet. I've heard rumors that Polymarket's working on native.
I want to thank Senator Ted Budd, who's doing such a great job. Senator Ted Budd, thank you. Thank you. Great job.
He went on way. He was way more on time than usual today. Holy crap!
They had Vance go for a second too.
He's a great one.
All right, we want Comrade Kamala.
Sheriffs here,
right?
don't we have?
We
Where are
yeah.
they?
World War III, China 3 times.
Yeah.
Will this stage hold them? I'd love to bring them up. Come on, sheriffs, get up here. Mark, come on. I don't know if this stage is going to hold them, but if it doesn't, we've had bigger risks than this. All right? Come on, sheriffs. If you weigh more than 200 pounds, don't come up. I'm only kidding. Come on. Hi, fellas.
Law enforcement and veterans. Is that what that is?
Yeah, sheriffs.
Sheriffs, okay.
And they got a lot of sheriffs, man.
Yeah, another outdoor event too.
Here.
Man, look at all that glass around that stage now.
Yeah. They're like,
they're not playing around.
Someone covered the tree line. Probably got drones flying around.
Yeah.
Back there.
And then they put these guys all around him as like a human shield on the sides. It's brutal.
All the sheriffs. How many of will fit up there?
I don't know if this thing's going to hold it, but if it doesn't, we're not going to get it.
I mean, he's got a quarter of the crowd up on the stage now. This is
He is currently outside of the shield.
Secret Service is sweating.
Just so you know, these are great people, but I want to get them the hell off the stage because I guarantee they didn't have this in mind when they built this. Thank goodness Mark lost a lot of weight over the last couple of months. You did actually. Well, I want to thank you all very much. You are the reason we're able to be here and that you have a safe state and a great state. Thank you all very much. Thank you. That's some group of people for endorsements too. Every group virtually in the country, law enforcement endorsed us. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mark. Good luck, Mark. Will win. Gotta win. He's gotta win. Gotta win. He's a good man. Thank you. Oh, I feel much better.
He also has not one woman. I don't think
better
there's a
than
ton of
thinking
women
off
sheriffs,
stage.
but I could be wrong.
I had no idea what was going to happen.
Especially in
but
North
it's not
Carolina.
that far down.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sure
it's. I had no idea what was. I'm a big structural guy.
I don't think Ashboro is a
But
big
I want
town
to thank
either.
also members of Congress, Richard Hudson and Byron Donalds, two warriors, two great people, two unbelievable. Where's Byron? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where's Byron? Oh, look at him over there. He knows how to get attention.
Real quick, looking at Kamala. What's your Kamala picks?
Abortion, yes. Inflation, 3+ times, no. What else do I have on here? Yeah, not going back, yes, is an obvious one. I took I think a little nibble on context is interesting.
Yeah,
in
down
particular,
low.
if you can get it in like the 20s, that's an interesting one.
Oh,
Project
yeah,
2025, strong yes. That's a new one that just got added. We'll see where the spread ends up, but that's a strong yes.
High.
Yes, high yes. And then joy is another good yes right there. If Donald Trump 5+ time keeps going up, it's going to be interesting on the now.
A lot of money thrown on these up here.
Yeah, they've been adding a lot of markets today too. So let's see what else they continue to add. There might be some new strong stuff like Joy or Project 2025.
Very importantly,
He
we
said-
have the
he
most
said they were here before
magnificent
I
women.
ran.
First time, you know, they travel
I
all
space
over the
ran.
country to be with us for rallies. They're at
What a
close to a
tease.
couple of hundred rallies. I don't know what their husbands are doing about this. This is a
What a
little crazy.
tease.
Look how beautiful. And they're from North Carolina. And for a change, they don't have to travel so far, right? How far are you from here? 2 hours is nothing.
A lot of crowd work today.
Actually. Thank you very
Material
much.
could do
As
the Shane
always,
Gillis
you
Trump
are
impression. This
special,
would be the number
special
one for this
people,
stream.
great women. They love our country.
Guess I got to start practicing
Before
now.
we begin, I want to address the massive scandal
That's funny.
around the revised job numbers that were just announced this morning, a little while ago, just before I came up. I got to see them. And it really isn't a revision. It's a total lie. Total lie. There's never been any revision like this.
Give me an
They
early
wanted
comrade.
it to come out after the election, but somehow it got leaked. It got leaked. Government leaks too. The Harris-Biden administration has been caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics to hide the true extent of the economic ruin that they've inflicted on America. The new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that the administration padded the numbers with an extra, listen to this one, 818,000 jobs that don't exist. So they said they existed, and they never did exist. They built them up so that they could say what a wonderful job they're doing. No, we've never had numbers like this. They don't exist.
Did Comrade
they could
Kamala
do
just
it
hit?
sometime after.
Did he
You know,
say
we
it?
have an election coming up
Price
very
just ripped.
quickly, but they wanted this to come out after November 5th, when it wouldn't have meant so much, but it came out a little early,
we
so
go.
there's a
Let's hear it.
patriot in there someplace, right?
Our stream must be
The
lagging.
real numbers are much worse than that. And Comrade Kamala,
Boom.
she's Comrade, the most
There we go.
radical left person
That was the
ever to
best
run for
odds on the
high
market,
political
too.
office in
Boom,
our
baby.
country. Gets another 4 years, millions of jobs, and it'll vanish overnight.
Beautiful
She
start.
gets
Give me
4
some
more
Irans,
years,
baby.
You're going to see jobs vanish. Millions and millions will vanish, and inflation will completely destroy our country. We'll have inflation worse than they've given us. You know, when I gave it to them, I had virtually no inflation, and now their number's up to 22, 23%, but their real number is probably 40 to 50%, because a lot of the things in their numbers aren't included. I saw another one where the FBI releases
Material
crime
with
statistics,
another
and they weren't
hit.
that bad.
18 for
and then
19.
They left out little things like New York, Chicago.
Let's
They
keep
left out
cooking.
various areas, and that wasn't so good. Your
He's
life
riffing with the
savings
crowd,
will
man.
be totally wiped out.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting
And,
bullish on
if you put
tampon and
somebody
green new
like that in
scam
there
right
with
now.
him, how about him?
I'm thinking about nibbling on green new scam.
How about him? She'll destroy our country just like she destroyed San Francisco, just
There's
like
no
she
money on the
destroyed
books for green new scam.
California.
Tampons the one
With the
you're going
Trump
to hit.
victory, we will once
Yeah.
again have the greatest economy in history. We're
You can still
going
get
to
tampon at 30.
do things that are going to make us so great so fast. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make
worth a little
America
stab.
strong
It's
again.
worth a
We're gonna make
flyer
America
at this
great
point.
He's going to
again.
talk
I mean,
about
like,
whatever the fuck he wants.
I think he's going to riff a lot right now. He's already
Fantastic.
doing it. It's worth a nib, dude.
It's going to be fantastic. So I just want to thank you very much for your support, because I've always had fantastic support
Green
from
new scam
you.
at 62.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a job to do. You know, we have a job to do. We had some very good polls this morning, despite their charade. I call it the party, the Democrats' party. Do you know 5 people in Chicago were killed in the last little while
By
since
Iran.
that charade that they have going on? They mentioned my name, I think, 271 times. They mentioned the economy like
There was a market
12
for that.
times. They mentioned the border, maybe none. They don't talk
And
about
it was
the
not
border.
271 times, sir.
Our great
It was
borders
less
law
than
doesn't talk
50.
about the
I know this
border.
well.
But they mentioned me more than any other
150
category.
the
I'm
first
now a
night, 50
category. They had me down
Yeah.
today as a category. That's all
I
they
guess he's
talk about.
adding
Trump.
or adding.
We've driven them crazy. They have Trump derangement syndrome. We've driven them crazy, and they should be driven crazy. They've done a terrible job for our country in every single way. There's not a thing they've done well except cheat and lie. They lie about stats. No, they lied about the crime numbers. The crime numbers didn't look bad. Then they found out that many of the worst places weren't included in the numbers. And that was done by the FBI, which is sad. 4 years ago, our country was strong and respected like never before. Our allies admired us. Our enemies feared us because everyone knew that as an American president, I was
Here we
all
go. Here's
about
some
putting
riffs.
America first. That's true. Under my leadership, we rebuilt the United States military, created Space Force, and we made our allies pay their fair share and their fair dues. You know, we went to
Green new
NATO,
scam.
we say, you're not paying, you got to pay. If you remember, President Bush would go and he'd make a speech. Obama would go, he'd make a speech. They all made speeches. This one didn't even make a speech, this last one.
Here comes some
But I
Israel's,
went,
some
I
Irans.
said, nobody's paying. You got to pay. And they did, paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They said, well, does that mean you won't support us if we don't pay? I said, that's what it means. I had to say that. I got a lot of heat for that. People, the fake news. Oh, that's a lot of fake news. Oh, that's a lot of fake news.
Where was the
Oh,
fake
fake
news?
news.
market?
Yeah, where was the
Oh,
market
the
for
fake
that?
news gave me a hard time for that.
3x would have hit.
The fake news
Yeah.
was saying, what a terrible
4x.
thing to say to
We
our
need a
allies.
fake
Our
news
allies
like
weren't
3+.
paying.
That would be perfect.
And I said, you got to pay. We
You
will
hit
pay
4.
for everybody. So they take advantage of us on trade, and then we also pay for their military. That somehow doesn't work. So they had to pay. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars.
Did
But
Israel
I
just
said
hit?
to them, no, that means I will not protect you. I will not protect you. They said, sir, if we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? Used to be Soviet Union, now Russia. Will you protect us? I said, are you paid? No, let's assume we're not paid. then you're delinquent, right? Well, yes, that's an old real estate term. You're delinquent, yes. No, we will not protect you. The press went crazy that I said, and you know what? If I would have said the other way, they would have never paid. Hundreds of billions were sent into NATO. But we defeated ISIS, we killed the world's top terrorists, we secured our borders, we achieved energy independence, we stood up to China, we protected Israel.
There's one China.
We made
One
peace in the
Israel
Middle
hit.
East with
He
the
took it.
Abraham Accords, and more. We did things like nobody ever heard of, and we brought our troops mostly back home. We didn't start any wars for 79 years it was before. We didn't start wars, 79, 80 years.
Here comes the Putin.
Everybody said, oh, he's going to start wars with his attitude. No, my attitude kept us out of wars. I stopped wars with phone calls. Russia should have never happened.
China took her up.
With Ukraine, would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. Nope, there was no talk of that. Would have never, ever happened with Putin. Would have never happened.
There's
And
Putin.
Israel,
Putin.
October 7th, would have never happened. Iran would have never done that. They
There's
had
Iran,
very
one
little money
Iran.
at that point. Now they're rich as hell, but Biden allowed that to happen. And Kamala, where's Biden? What happened to Biden? Where is he? He's on a beach. He's on a beach. You know, he's got somebody that thinks he looks great in a bathing suit. He likes to go to a beach. How do you leave here and go on a beach? You can't do it. There are things you just don't do. People don't want to see you in a bathing suit.
China won, Iran won.
Yeah.
Walks badly. It's hard to walk in the sand. You know, he has a hard time lifting his feet through the sand. And then he grabs the chair. The chair is meant for old people to lift and young kids to lift, like, you know, 4-year-old
World
kids.
War III,
Right?
nuclear is
And
imminent.
he can't lift it. He needs a little help. The whole thing is crazy. How we ever got that is crazy. And what happened to our country with inflation and with disrespect from all over the world, and all these wars are starting all over the place. And we're very close to a third world war, and don't kid yourself.
Oh,
They are laughing, but they're not laughing too much. You're a little worried about a certain person winning the election. We had some very good
tease.
polls today.
Does that
And if that
count?
happens, you're not going to have any third world wars. Every American was safer under President Trump. In fact, the entire
Compound
world
words will
was
count as
safer
long as
when
World
I
War III is
sat
part
behind
of
that
the
beautiful
compound
Resolute
word and
desk in
references the
Oval
meaning,
Office.
which
You know, I heard
refers
the
to a
other day,
major
for the
global
first time,
conflict.
I heard Biden
Yeah,
say,
I don't know.
the beautiful Resolute desk. He never said that before. They copied
Man, he
me.
danced.
When I say we're a nation in decline, guys are copying me. Then they say they shouldn't say that, but they thought the words were beautiful. But they copy me all the time. In that case, it was Republicans that were copying me because they happen to be right. So I don't mind if a Republican copies me. Any of you guys want to copy me? But it's a sad thing to have to say. But they copy me. The Resolute desk, he never mentioned that. He doesn't even know what the hell the Resolute desk is. Exactly 3 years ago this month, the weakness and incompetence of Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden delivered the most humiliating event in the history of our country and one of the biggest military disasters in the history of the world, as far as I'm concerned. No one will ever forget the horrifying images of their catastrophic retreat from Afghanistan. Desperate Afghans fell to their deaths from the wheels of U.S. cargo planes that were 3,000
He
feet
is
up
on
in the
today,
air.
Jesse.
Bloodthirsty terrorists poured out of the prisons after Biden and Harris surrendered Bagram, one of the largest air
Theo Vaughn
military bases
interview
anywhere
was
in the world. We
legendary,
spent
dude. Talk about
billions
them
and
talking about
billions of
cocaine. I was
dollars
dying,
building
dude.
it many
Like
years
you-
ago.
You're really up on that stuff,
And, you
huh?
know, it was important
Wow.
to keep it. I was never
Wow.
thinking that. I would have been out faster than them. I said, that's not, we were there for almost 21 years. And I said, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And we had no soldiers killed for 18 months while I was there because they knew, don't play around with our soldiers. They were killing them. They were killing them under Obama. Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
I don't know, Kadeen.
Sir, you must stick to policy.
Polymarket
You'll win it
Discord
on the border. You'll win it with
seems to be
inflation.
leaning.
You'll win it with your
No,
great
but it
military
really
that
goes
you
to
built
UMA.
that they gave away $85 billion worth of it.
Yeah.
The rules
Afghanistan. Sir,
say
you're gonna
that
win it on crime. The crime is running through the streets like never
if he
before.
says
You're gonna
World
win
War
it on
III,
All of these things.
Any usage
and
of the
maybe especially,
word,
I
blah,
think
blah,
two
blah.
things.
Pluralization will
Economy,
count. Other
inflation,
forms will not count.
because I view
Compound
them
words will count
together.
as long
What
as
they've
World
done
War
to
III is
inflation,
part
and
of
they
the
close it with
compound
energy.
word
What
and
they did with
references the
energy is so
meaning which
stupid.
refers to a global military
If
conflict.
we were
It sounds like a
there,
really,
our energy,
yeah,
we'd
like
be so
a
dominant all
a
over
rough
the world
maybe
right now. We
no.
were already energy
This could get
independent. I make
disputed,
you energy
but
independent.
probably on the
But
no.
we would be energy dominant. We'd be paying back.
But he
There's
may come back
chances-
around the
We'd
bend.
be reducing your taxes
Yeah,
still further.
he's going to
We'd
go on
give you
more
the largest
Iran
tax cuts
nuclear
ever.
riffs.
And a lot of good things were going to happen, but now we're just going to have to sort of call it a delay of 4 years. But these people don't have any idea what they're doing. You had 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. I got to know a lot of the relatives, friends, and mothers and fathers of those 13 people. 45 others were horrifically wounded, and $85 billion worth of the best military equipment
Did you say
anywhere
oil?
in the world was handed over to these people. In fact, Afghanistan is now one of the largest arms merchants anywhere in the world. Did you know that? They're selling our equipment at tremendous prices. They're selling our beautiful. We had 70,000
Yep, looks like an oil hit.
armored trucks, many of them armored trucks and vehicles.
Maybe
There's
Figure
some money
this.
on the nose still.
We had 700,000 rifles and guns. I actually say, what the hell
What's
did
up,
they
Tropo
need so
Farmer?
many for?
What's up, Trepo?
700,000 rifles and guns. We had goggles, brand new, right out of the box. You know, they didn't fight at night because they never had goggles, right? Good fighters. They never had goggles. Now they have brand new goggles, all left by the Biden-Harris administration. Gave them
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
billions of dollars, just gave it to them, and now they sell that equipment because they don't need 700,000 rifles. They
Polymarket
need
successfully turned
20,000.
political
Little
speeches into
difference.
sports.
They don't need
Back to work, Trevor. Good luck
70,000
on your
vehicles.
place.
They need 500 vehicles. You have to ask yourself, who bought all that stuff in the first place? Who bought it all? How disgusted we're all when we see, all of us are, when we see 3 days ago when we viewed their parade, our military
We need
equipment
two more
running
China.
down the middle of their main avenue.
Come on,
brand new,
he can get it in the
beautiful
same sentence.
Armor-plated
Oh, yeah.
trucks, tanks, and vehicles running down the middle, and they're all celebrating because we have stupid people running our government, and she'll be worse than Biden because he wasn't really a believer, but she's a radical left believer. She ruined San Francisco. She ruined California. And if she gets in, our country doesn't have a chance. This calamity is on
Who the fuck wrote Third World War?
Kamala
These
Harris's
speechwriters. I want to
shoulders.
talk to you.
I think her
Kill
name
it
will be
us.
Comrade because I think that's the most accurate name. You know, I've been looking for a
Another
name. People
Comrade
say,
Kamala.
Sir, don't do it. You know all my names. They've all worked. They've all been very successful.
Yeah, Jesse, we were talking about
And
like
I really
the
didn't
prediction
find one
markets with
with
like
her.
live speeches where you watch it
Sir,
and there's like an adrenaline
She's
to
a
it.
woman.
It's
I
like
said, so is Hillary
it's like,
Clinton.
yeah,
I called
you
her
know,
Crooked Hillary. So
sports
nobody,
betting in a sense,
nobody
right? Or
complained
fantasy
about
football,
that,
where
right?
you get to like watch an event and
Right.
kind of like sweating.
Mr. Governor, nobody complained about that. No, I called her Crooked Hillary. I call people names. I call crazy Nancy Pelosi crazy because she is. She's nuts.
Crazy Nancy Pelosi.
You know,
would've been a
Biden
wild
is
party.
really angry.
Yeah.
He's very angry. He was so angry the other night. He's like
He's
seething.
been flirting
You
with
ever see a
Green New
guy make a
Scam.
speech? It's such anger and so uncomfortable, just shouting. Yeah. But he's terrible. He's just terrible. Should have never been there. We all know
Yeah,
that. Should have
exactly.
never been there. What they've done to this country is
Basically,
incredible.
what you're describing
she bragged
with
that
the
she
pick
would
six, that would be tampon.
Be the last
yeah. He's just gonna
person
go
in
off
the
the rails
room, and
and
she
just
was.
be
She was
like,
the last
"Tampon
person in the
Tim."
room with Biden when the two of them decided to pull the troops out of Afghanistan. And by the way, pulling them out was absolutely right. I was going to do it. I'm the one that got the soldiers down to 5,000 people. I was going to do it, but we were going to get out last. You don't pull the soldiers out first. You let the soldiers stay last. And the head of the Taliban respected me, Abdul. I had conversations with him. After my conversations, not one soldier in 18 months was killed, but you pull the soldiers out last. Milley and these guys, you know, we have great generals, but Milley and Mattis and these guys, they didn't know what the hell. I call them television generals. The television generals are no good, but the generals that defeated ISIS, for me, were great. We have a great military. But she had the final vote. She had the final say, and she was all for it. You take the soldiers out. If I took that young person right there, about 5 or 6 years old, beautiful young person, and if I said, I gave little details, like about 30 seconds worth of details. Would you take the military out first or last? Sir, I'd take the military out last. But they took it out first. And then we left hostages. We left all of the equipment. We left everything.
China just went to 100%.
We left Bagram, and now China is occupying Bagram. Bagram being 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Wouldn't it be nice to have our
Nuclear
big,
in China.
beautiful
Nuclear.
base? It was probably built there for that reason.
Dun, dun,
Told you he was
dun,
going to talk about
dun.
nuclear in
And now
China, dog.
is
Dun,
occupying
dun,
that
dun,
Told you.
dun, dun. Is that 3 for 3?
base.
Yep.
Some of the biggest
Oh,
runways
no, we need
in the
World War III.
world.
We
They
need
can
World War
hold
III.
heavier loads than any runways in the world.
You did call out nuke, though. It was a good
Under
pick.
my leadership, we
I
were
did,
getting
yeah,
out of
call out nuclear,
Afghanistan, but we
Israel,
were going to
Putin.
get out with dignity, pride, and with strength.
All those strong
When
picks.
I left office, we had not lost a single service member in the combat in Afghanistan in more than 18 months. And then we had that horrible day where we lost so many, and so many were
I want to
so
speak to the
badly
people
hurt.
that keep no
Arms,
orders on the books
legs gone,
and
face
aren't
just
like
obliterated.
on like
We
FiOS
lost
internet
so many
connection, watching this
great
with like a
people that day.
drone that
Nobody
they
talks
control.
about the people that was
Yeah,
so
and how are they
badly
getting
injured. They
streams
never
that are like
mention them.
ahead
They always
of
mention them.
time?
All over the world, our
Well, Katie,
adversaries
get
knew
ready. You're
that
about to be excited
America
because
was
you're going to
not
hear it.
be trifled with
It's coming.
when I was your commander-in-chief. But, and you know, it's very interesting. If you look at
The order book on oil is
Hungary, a
everywhere.
very strong country, very strong leader, Viktor Orban, he said the only thing that's
Let's
going to
go,
save the whole world
Katie.
is Trump has to be president again. We had no problems.
All right, we need the wraparound World War III.
We had no problems.
Give me a World War III, dude.
He said, we had no problems. I don't use the term, but he did. He said, China was afraid of him. Russia was afraid of him. They always said, oh, I was so friendly to Russia. I'm the one that stopped the Russian pipeline called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever, the biggest development they ever had to feed oil all over Europe, I stopped
Corn
it.
dog, let me know
And then Biden
what channel or
comes
whatever.
in and he gives them everything. He gave them the pipeline. They built the pipeline, but I stopped it. Putin said, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to us. I said, I'm sorry, I have to do it.
Dude, Carl
And
Havoc
he
on
proves
Twitter
it
has
right
been
away.
tailing all
And
your
then they
bets
say,
and did.
Trump was not strong on Russia.
He's going to be talking to you like
think he
Papa
would think I had
Giorgio
wrong.
in Vegas
Putin
Vacation.
actually
You made me
said,
a lot of money
if you
tonight,
weren't
kid.
strong,
You
I'd
like
like
massages?
to find out how bad would you be.
Love it.
If you
I'll
were
see you there,
strong, 'cause
baby.
You were brutal. But you know, I got along
Really
with him.
need one
It's
to
good
celebrate
get
all
along
these
with these
cooks.
countries. I got along with China. That wouldn't
China
have happened.
5X
What's
would've
happening
hit,
right
dude.
now? They're planning an attack on Taiwan. There's no question about that. That wouldn't have happened.
Is
Give me some more
Iran still at
Iranians.
one?
Yeah, I
You
think
weren't
so.
allowed to do that. Putin would have never gone into Ukraine.
He's working them
Israel
in
would
here.
have never been attacked. It's a sad, sad situation. So many people are dead. So many people are gone. So many cities. You look at Ukraine, those cities are just wiped off the face of the earth. They're outside of Kiev and a couple of others have basically just flattened. Far more people dead than they let you know.
Could you
It's
think
like
you would work
your numbers
ceasefire?
that
in?
were released fraudulently today.
I
Far
don't
more
think so.
people dead in that war than anybody would know. When those big buildings come tumbling down, hit with rockets.
Especially when you think
So
like that's like a
ridiculous.
positive thing the
There's
Democrats are
nothing
trying to
left.
work on. He's not going to
So
like
ridiculous.
give that language
Since
to them.
the Afghanistan catastrophe, it's been
He did
open
talk to
season
Zelensky one
on
time, I think.
America and our allies.
said, like,
I
he
really
got
believe
along with
that
them or
the
something.
Afghan disaster,
In a
what happened,
interview,
the
I believe.
stupidity and the way we pulled out and the bedlam and all of that, it would have been very smooth. We were going to get out with strength.
No
and dignity.
Venezuelas either.
But when Putin saw that, he said, wow, those people don't know what they're doing.
Right, guy wants the
They're
China
overrated.
8X market next time.
And he went
That'd be a
in
good one.
and Same thing happened with Iran. Iran was not going to play with us.
There's two Irans. Iran
Now
3X.
Iran is
Bye
a
bye.
rich nation. They have 300
It's
billion
another
of
guap.
money.
It's another
And
guap.
in 3.5
Dude, we're
years,
listening
they
to Jimmy
made
Sachs
they
after
made
this, man. Just
$300
fucking.
$300 billion they have right now. They made it all in 3.5 years. They had none when I left. And we would have made a fair deal with them. They can't have a nuclear weapon. They said,
OG
"You can't
Titan,
have a
Iran
nuclear
just
weapon."
hit.
Other than that, we want you to have great lives.
In the green, baby.
But I do hear that.
As usual, Trump market is a yes market.
I'm here for
It's
you,
a
and
yes
I'm here
market.
even
If
for
you're on the
world-
no
Oil
side,
just hit.
World wars, because
Oil
the
just
equipment
hit.
is so
Oil just
devastating
hit.
now. A world war is obliteration. We can't have
Oh
a
my
world
God.
war.
War. Say it.
Every dictator, tyrant, and terrorist
You
on the
fucker.
planet knows that they can get away with murder under Kamala and Crooked Joe. Kidnappers are getting
Trump,
millions
I need
and
to have a
millions
word
of
with you.
dollars, but
off
Now they're
stage.
getting billions.
You
They're
say
getting
World War
billions.
III.
What
go
is
back
it
up there and you
for the
say
four
fucking
people
World
that
War
we
III.
released? Sure, they
Quit
got $6
dancing
billion.
around it and
What
edging
is
me.
$6 billion?
You
Does
say
anyone
World
know
War
what that
III.
means? They got $6 billion.
Fuck says third World
People
War.
get
What are you,
kidnapped and
a historian?
asked for like, how about $1,000? How about
fucking
500?
historian.
They got $6
Somebody told
billion
him to cuck
from
me.
these idiots. And you know what happens when that happens? A lot of people are going to get kidnapped because they say we're dealing with stupid people. A lot of people. We had 59 people that were hostage. Some in North Korea. That's about as tough as it gets. We got people out without paying for anything. We never gave money. We didn't want to give money. If we gave money, all they do is they go around kidnapping everybody. These people give. Not only do they give $6 billion, they got
He's about 30 minutes in right now.
the Prince of Death out.
You
He's
could
the number
technically
one
say that you can't say
arms merchant
3
in
World
the
War. You
world.
have to
Russia
say
got
third.
him as
Right?
part of one
World
of the
War.
deals.
World
The
3
number one
War.
arms merchant
Without a
in the
fail.
Yeah.
world. We got a couple of people.
I just got deja vu.
But you know, why were they there?
Dude, he's like flirting all
Why
around
did they
it.
do what they did? But they got some of the most
Right guy.
criminal, the toughest, meanest criminals anywhere in the world.
Trump,
On top of that, we
say
paid
the
them
fucking
billions and
word.
billions of dollars. We're run by very stupid people. I'd like to use a different word. I'd like to use a much more sophisticated word, but there's no word I can think of. Incompetent. How about incompetent? As a result, peace in Europe has been shattered by the largest European land war since
This
the
is
fall
your
of
next shot, bud.
Nazi Germany. This is the largest war there's been, and this war is going to escalate and escalate. When, if, but when, I have to always say if.
You're killing me,
because
Trump.
they cheat. I would say when if they didn't cheat, but they cheat. That's the one thing. They're great at cheating in elections. If we win, I'll get that thing settled before I take the office. I'll get it settled as president-elect. I'll get that war stopped. With Russia, yeah, we'll get that stopped. Ukraine and Russia, we're going to get it stopped and quickly. It'll be done before I get to office. It would not have happened if I was president. It wasn't going to happen in the Middle East.
Watching the
Jewish
order
people
book on World War
have
III is
suffered the
crazy.
worst
It's so
atrocities
confused.
and deadliest attacks
probably
since
there's
the
like a
Holocaust.
53
There's no
cent
question
spread on
about
it.
that.
Yeah, it's just
The
literally a
United
dash
States
on
has been
probability.
forced
Like,
to abandon more
I don't know where to
embassies
go.
under Comrade Kamala than at any time in our history.
Another comment.
We're
hit it.
just, and we're running out. It's not like we're leaving. We're being run out of these embassies that cost us
that's his new
hundreds of
crooked
millions
Joe.
of dollars to build. You got to see these embassies in the middle of nowhere, in a country you've never even heard of. They spent $900 million to build an embassy. The whole thing is
People in the chat are
crazy.
saying it hit.
The world
Oh,
is
what
on
hit?
fire, and Kamala and Biden
Did we just get World War III?
have marched us to the brink of World War III. That's what we're
Yes!
in. General, you would probably agree. You're one of the experts. I would
Go!
say, right? I don't even talk to you about that lately. It's so out of control.
We
I
are
don't even
100.
bother. I just say, look, take a look.
Fucking again, dude.
But one of
Oh
the
man,
great
sorry my
experts.
language. I am just
And,
excited, boys. I'm
We're on
ecstatic.
the brink. That's why this
ever
November
seen- you ever
Americans
heard
are
about the
going
guy
to
that,
tell
Puts his
Kamala
hand in the air.
Harris,
He's
Kamala,
like a
that we've
monk.
had enough.
Southeast
We
Asian,
can't
put his
take
hand
it
in the air for
anymore.
50 years.
You're doing a
Now it's
terrible
like
No.
job.
crumpled up and
Comrade
like
Harris,
fused up.
you're
That's me.
fired.
I'm not
Get
putting
out
my
of
hand
here.
down
You're
until we lose
fired.
it.
You're no good.
Dude, you can't
Might be
fade
the-
the boys.
Dude, we are
You're
on. We
fired.
are on.
Get him out of here. All you have to do is take a look at San Francisco. Look at the job she did. She had one policy. If you steal less than $1,000, basically $950 to be
You got me
exact. I
finna
wanna be
act
accurate
up.
For purposes of reporters, the fake news media, they want accuracy. They don't have to be accurate, but we have to be accurate. But if you steal less than $950,
go.
they basically leave you alone. So I have guys going in robbing stores with a calculator. Let's see, this is $100. Did you know that?
All right, all right, all right.
It's not
All
gonna
right.
happen
All
in
we
North
need
Carolina, I
now
don't think, is it?
is this would just be the icing on the
Let's see,
cake,
that's
man. Give me a
Take the whole
tampon.
book and put it in tampon.
Give me a
Stop,
tampon,
stop.
dude.
We don't want to go over 9.
Just icing on the cake,
They
baby.
walk
Give me a
out with it,
tampon.
Nobody does a thing.
I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm
Starting the
overheating.
moment
Oh,
I
dude,
lift
this
my
is-
hand from
this
the
is
Bible
wild.
after taking the oath of
BRB.
office, I will
This is just a
move
guap
to
here,
restore
boys. We are
America to maximum
cooking
strength and
again.
return the world to peace.
Every
We're gonna
single
return
yes
the world to peace.
that we had hit. All of our strong picks and all of our secondary
Mostly I can
picks
do it
we
with
identified.
a telephone call. You know, we don't have to send
as
troops.
strong
I can
picks
do it
hit.
with a telephone call. You go to war, with another country.
Did Green News scam just
It's
hit?
friendly to us, or
Order
even
book's
not
going
friendly
wild.
to us. You're not going to do business in the United States, and we're going to
No, I
charge
don't
you
think so. No, I don't think so. I got a
100% tariffs.
little
And
too
all of a
excited.
sudden, the president or prime minister,
Right
or
now, we're just
dictator or
cruising
whoever the hell is
on house
running the
money at this
country
point.
says
We've
to me,
got
"Sir, we won't
little
go to
small
war."
flyers on tampon yes
I talked
and
this world out
on
of a lot
Green
of
News
wars
scam
with
yes.
telephone calls. I don't
Let's
have to
see if
send
this
in
guy
the
gets
troops.
us.
One of my most urgent priorities will be to quickly rebuild the readiness and spirit of the
Man, I'm
United
sweating
States
after that
Armed
edging
Forces.
on World War III,
And we
dude.
had it
Holy
built.
cow, he made
We
us
rebuilt it.
work for that
We
one, dude.
rebuilt the whole military, but it was decimated under this group of stupid people. You know, we had so much. When I came in, we had no ammunition. Did you know that? Remember, I used to talk about it. And I said, if it's true, which it was, why would you say that? We had people on television. Well, the United States has no ammunition. You know, some things you just keep to yourself, right? Do you remember I used to, from North
Crypto,
Carolina, do you
Bitcoin,
remember
yes,
I used
guys
to
are in
talk about
shambles
that
right
all the
now.
time?
Just no
Those are my
Bitcoin
best
crypto
witnesses,
mentions.
those ladies.
Funny thing is he
There's
did
about
talk
40
about
of
it
them. They're
in
all
one of
over
his
the
pressers
place.
2 days ago.
And
And I
they're always
felt for all the
perfectly
crypto yes
coiffed
bros. I was like, dude, no
and
way.
perfectly dressed. They're beautiful. And
And
they're
of course,
great.
the market
But no, I used to
where
talk
we
all
have
the
it,
time. If you have
nada.
no bullets, I can ask this group of leaders, you don't talk about it. But you get the bullets really fast, right?
Did Green News scam
So
just hit?
within a year, I had so much that our warehouses were stocked to the gills. We never had so much. I bought so much, missiles, everything. I rebuilt our military, but that's been all dissipated now again because we give
K
it away
Dean
to
says
everybody.
the Green News scam just hit.
And
I
for
must be
nothing.
way behind
I
on the
mean, they
stream.
don't do anything for us. We don't get anything.
Come
we
on,
don't
come
even
on.
get a pledge that
Cue
we'll
it up.
pay you back someday if we have the money. How about that?
Oh, you want the
Pay
Ma
you back
glasses, bro?
someday if we have the money. You know, I sponsor
Let's go.
athletes sometimes. If I see somebody that I like in sports, I sponsor.
Ooh, he's
some
talking about
golfers.
sports.
Usually,
Will we get a
doesn't
tampon
typically
riff?
work out. I don't know if you know. It's like a 5,000 to 1 shot. But I'm good at that stuff, and I can see talent.
K Dean
And
said,
I'll give them
oh,
Yeah, you just said
no,
the
$2,000.
spread.
spreads was bad.
I'll give them $50,000. I'll say, you know,
Yeah,
you're
no
really
one's
good.
trying
You
to-
could make it. Why don't
no
you?
one's
why
trying to
aren't
take
you
the no
trying
spread.
out for the tour, sir? I
Yeah.
have no money. I have to give lessons. I have no money. He said, you're too good to give lessons. You can be a tour player. I said,
Another
I don't
yes
have any
day for
money.
Trump.
I said, here's $50,000, and here's the deal. If you do well, you pay me back with no interest. Just good luck. If you don't do well, which you probably won't, because it's very hard, they say the worst is a boxer. If you sponsor a boxer, they're all great. They're winning all their fights. And then they turn professional, and they go in. And this goes with the UFC, run by Dana White, one of the greats of all time, which has really taken over for boxing. But it's the same thing, and people sponsor people, and they get what they get. But the worst is that.
So is that 17, 8, 19 for 20?
Yeah, yeah. Our only miss has been Joe Biden calling himself old. Did not expect that one, but everything else
A
we've
doctor,
been
please.
100 on, dude. I'll tell you what, if that's a batting average for a MLB batter, this guy's
is
like a
very
player of
hot
the year,
here,
dude.
I noticed. It's very hot.
19 for
A
20.
lot of the people waited for
It's like
Bro,
godly.
days to
what do
get
you eat
here.
for breakfast
so
every morning?
I understand it.
Apparently too much politics.
Take your time, doctor. Take your time. Thank you.
Or maybe just enough. Are people actually shouting tampon, Antoine? That'd be amazing if they bait him into a tampon. We're gonna keep the tampons out. No tampons in the boys'
Take your
bathrooms.
time, please.
What the hell is he doing?
What kind of question is this guy asking?
Dude, I'm so lost. What is he
What is
doing
that?
right now? I've never seen this at a political event.
Oh,
Have
someone
you?
maybe had a heart attack?
No way.
I don't know. They got an IV in them.
Maybe they can use a tampon to save him.
Brings it up on stage. Get a nosebleed. See this? They bleed
Trump,
for me.
Trump's gonna be like, Tim Walz would have gave him a tampon. We gave him medical care.
She passed out. She probably has been waiting so long she doesn't eat. She didn't eat lunch.
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock over in North Carolina. Hot as hell. That's like
Yeah,
peak heat time.
Yeah, you got to bring hydration. You also got to bring food.
Yeah, you know, you got to bring your crackers and salami. You know, if you're going to a long event like a Trump rally.
You know, what's the weather looking like? It's only 79 there. She just
What?
low blood sugar.
It's hotter here in SoCal than the freaking rally.
I'm sure there was one Polymarket better at the rally trying to bait him into
Thank you
saying
very much.
tampon.
You know, they
Doing
come
the Lord's
2 days,
work out
3
there.
days early, and
Just
it's
wearing like
it's
a
a lot of
vest with
stress. We
tampons glued
lose
to it.
The only ones we don't lose are front row Joes. I don't know what they have going. They
That's a
have
new one.
something
They
going
should
here,
start putting the
Governor.
market on Front Row Joe. That's a new one he's been
like that,
saying.
huh?
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Yeah.
Doctor. But America is blessed with the greatest military in the
gotta catch
world,
his
but
breath
our
a little
men
bit.
and
You hear a lot
women
of
in
nodes in there.
uniform have been betrayed by radical left politicians.
He doesn't
and
walk
some
up many
generals
stairs,
and
you know.
at the top,
Definitely an
they're
elevator
woke.
guy.
They're woke. We don't want
Yeah, he's
woke
never
generals.
walked a
We
golf
want
course in
generals
his
that know
life.
how to win,
He
and
does
we
know how to
have
swing.
them.
No.
We proved that when we wiped out ISIS, didn't we?
He parks that
Proved it.
golf cart right
Sure,
next to
it'll
the
take 5
ball,
years.
hops
We
right
did it
in.
three weeks.
He may even drive it on the
We did it in
green. I don't
3
know.
weeks.
So
We have
the
greatest
only
military in the
markets
world,
that
but
could
you
hit
need
would
the
be
great leaders,
tampon,
otherwise your military will
ceasefire,
can never be great.
Zelensky,
Everywhere I go,
Venezuela,
soldiers
3+
and veterans
times,
tell me how angry
Green
they
New
are
Scam,
that
crypto and
not
Bitcoin.
one person has been held
Yeah.
Who's on the
accountable
yes
for
on
the
crypto and Bitcoin?
Afghanistan
Are these all Solana
catastrophe.
meme coin traders?
He never fired anybody. You know, I fire a lot of people
Absolute
when they don't do a good
degenerates,
job.
that
Then they
too.
come back and write books. You know, they hate you, but that's okay. When you don't fire people, they never write books, you know. But I fired a lot
I
of
would
people.
love-
I wasn't happy with their service. I wasn't happy with
He
the
hasn't
job
said
they did. I
Venezuela
fired
once,
them.
which
I
is
let them
actually
go. I mean,
really interesting.
I'm working for
Yeah.
you. I'm not doing this
Low on the
for
priority scale, I guess.
myself.
I
Yeah.
feel like he works them in more when he's talking about the border.
But when you
border
fire them,
security.
they always come back
Agree.
with something. And
Yeah.
nobody's ever been in the position where
Agree.
Right,
you know,
I
they
said
get
he's the
offered all
entire
sorts of
order
money
book.
from
He's
the
just
fake
market
news
making
and
this whole
everything
market
else.
right now.
Fame. We're going to make you famous. All you have to do
Savage.
is make up
I
some
mean,
stories about
on these
Trump.
low volume markets, you can't make a lot of money, but you can
uh,
definitely
people
like.
don't seem to care. It's phony.
The VP
It's
markets were great
phony,
if you're like market
horrible.
making on
They're
those.
lightweights.
Yeah,
They're
when someone has a
terrible
13-cent spread,
people. You know,
essentially,
when I came, don't forget, I didn't know
you can
anybody
take
in
20 shares
Washington.
on one side, wait
I'm
for it to
president
hit,
of the United
then take 20
States.
shares
I'm
on
going
the other
down
side, and
Pennsylvania
just work up
Avenue
the
with that
book.
biggest load of
And a lot of times
military
you'll
and
get
police and
risk-free,
motorcycles and everything you've ever
9%
seen.
return.
And I didn't know anybody. I said to
Absolutely.
my wife, I don't know a lot of people, but the people I
Can't
know.
get tampon for cheap anymore.
Recommendations
Someone
from
gobbled
a
it
lot of
up
good
down at
people.
25%.
Well-meaning
Someone's a
people.
believer.
Some were good. Most
Let's see
were
who
good.
came in on the
Respect.
tampon side.
But we-
Just really quick, guys.
Epic RNG bought a bunch of tampon.
Yep.
Couple $100.
Good P&L.
Hey, respect you, tampon boys.
And they're going to be held accountable for what they've done to this country. Right? Thank you. I will ask for the resignations of every
StreamYard, we need to be
single
able to, like,
senior military official
Move
who
him
touched
over
the
to be a person
Afghanistan
below
disaster.
us. Keep his
I
eye on
Yeah.
want
him,
their
and I can throw up the
resignations
Tim Walz
immediately.
market. He knows how to
Yeah.
do that.
And I want them on the desk in the Oval Office, the Resolute desk.
That requires a little
I
engineering.
want them on at 12 o'clock, Inauguration Day. Everybody involved with that disaster.
someone's
When you have a
gobbling
disaster
tampons,
so
that's
stupid
just
as
the
that,
coolest
that
way to
causes
say that,
such
honestly.
problem, you don't know what that's
Wait,
done
why
to
did
the
tampon go down
reputation of
to
our country.
8?
The
Is it
Afghanistan
just all over the
disaster.
place? There's a.
This
Oh,
house
I'm on the Tim
cleaning
Walz
will be a
market.
signal to the entire world and America military and everybody else. They want people to be held
market making this? 1
accountable
cent
for
spread now
failure
on
and
tampon?
incompetence. And it's just not acceptable that something like that could happen. These are fighters. They fight with broken, old, obsolete weapons and knives. We have F-16s. We have F-35s, F-32s. And we were knocking the hell out of them, just knocking the hell out of them. It was easy. But I said, what the hell are we doing this for? Let's get the hell out of there. We were getting out with such strength. They were so happy they couldn't believe it. And then these people came in, and it's horrible to even think about what happened. And countries all over the world lost respect for us because of Afghanistan. We demand success and we demand victory. We want victory from our soldiers and from everybody else. Under Comrade
Yell says it's disgusting who
Kamala
gobbles
Harris.
tampons. If I was to pick a
And I call
guy,
her
it'd
that
be
because
that
there's never been.
crackhead
She's a
dev
Marxist,
streamer
okay?
on Pump Fun.
I was saying, do you think she's a Marxist or a communist? To people that really study this stuff, they weren't able to tell me. They said it could be all the way, it could be communist, but she's damn close. They said it was definitely one or the other, but they couldn't actually tell me. Was it
Do we know
communist
how
or
long he's been
Marxist?
speaking for?
Sure, it's one or the other.
I think he
We're
got
not
on at
sure. We'll figure it out.
216.
But under Comrade Kamala,
So that's
our military has been
42.
abused
Comrade Kamala,
for
another hit.
radical
He's at
social
4 or 5 on
experiments.
that one.
On day one, I will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our U.S. armed forces. We're taking it out. Our warriors should be focused on defeating America's
So we're
enemies,
at
not figuring out their
43
genders.
minutes.
By that
He's
time,
probably going
hopefully
another
they know their
15.
gender.
He's energized right now. It's early in the day. He's going.
All right, he's
another
gonna keep
30.
going.
Ideologies have no place in combat. Think of it. They go in
I
and
still
they
like
decide,
tampon here.
oh, they're going to change my gender.
I think
No,
tampon
no,
and green new
we want
scam
them to know
are
their gender
they're still
when
in
they
play.
go in. You have no idea the disruption that has caused, and the fake news refuses to report it. You know, when I did a ban, I went to a lot of good generals. I said, I'm not going to tell you names. Just tell me, is it the right thing or the wrong thing? The wrong thing, sir. It's the wrong thing. And I had unanimous support. And then we did it. I didn't do it. Other people did it. They reversed me as soon as they got in, like almost the first day. I didn't do it. But they allowed things to happen to our military that
So real quick,
not
while we're
right.
waiting for some of these
if
to
you want to
hit,
have a sex change or a social justice seminar.
on the Walz market, what are your top 3? I think you like
Walls, I like abortion. Abortion, yes.
75. Best value.
Yeah. Coach, yes. Teacher, yes. JD Vance, yes. Debate, no.
So you're going for 4 here. Love
Yeah,
it.
if I had to boil it down to the
No.
You know-
You can go for 4. You've gone for 4 before. You
cool.
went 4 for 4 the other day. You're allowed to go 4 for 4. You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. You're 19 for 20. You could bet the whole market if you wanted to. You can make a call if you're feeling it on the whole fucking market. And just so you all are aware, this is all Tyrael. Tyrael puts in the time, does the research, puts in the work. Okay.
Cheers. Yeah.
I come in for the occasional fun little edgy sideline bet.
Hey, dude, you've had some good calls too, man. Elon, no, that was a guap
That
on
was a
that
nice cook.
5X.
Let's see. I like me a good. You're a good yes guy. You give the value. I like a 4X cooker. You know.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to take those flyers out, man. But dude, today we absolutely cooked on this Trump market, dude. Like if you got
Recruitment drive in the
Comrade
history of the
Kamala,
armed
you
forces.
cooked. If you
We have
took
to fill our
Iran
armed
3+,
forces with
you
great
cooked.
people, but they don't have
Those were in the
spirit now. There's
60s,
no
dude.
spirit.
Iran
Used to bring
3+
other
was in the low
soldiers would bring their
60s.
friends in. Now that
If you
doesn't
pick that
happen.
up, good
Almost
for
never
you.
happens.
So
The
if you
sense of
guys
spirit, pride, and
are
prestige
still
will
listening
soon
in, all the
come roaring
people
back
in the
and reach
audience,
levels
thank you
never
very much
seen
for
before.
being
We're
here
gonna
such a
make it
long
so
time. We had a
hot
lady
that
drop
I'm gonna wanna
down. She's
resign
fine.
and
You have
join
great
the
doctors here,
military.
best doctors in the world, better than any doctors I've
I don't
ever
know what
seen.
rank I would start at. I guess
Imagine
I
that happened at the
started private.
DNC.
I
They
don't
probably
know.
wouldn't get you out for
What
30
rank would I
minutes.
have to start at, General? I
You'd
have
be
to
messed.
start pretty low.
Anyways, please
He
let
said
me
you'll start
know
at the top. All right, then
if you
I'll
would
stay here.
prefer a Telegram channel or
That's
a
very good. You'll start
Discord
at the top.
channel.
He knows what to say.
We're gonna get a channel.
America's
So, you know, we
military
can
must always be
share because
unrivaled and unbeatable.
Tyrael has his
And then I see
analysis the day
reports
before
coming
we
out
go
where they do
live.
studies,
Generally.
And they said under these
Generally. So you'd be
circumstances,
getting,
we'll lose a
you
war
know,
to China.
12-hour early
Number
access,
one,
chat completely
if it's
free.
true, why
Completely
are we
free.
saying it?
Okay, we're gonna put a tariff on it.
Number two, it
We're gonna
shouldn't
put a
be
tariff
true,
on all the
should it?
information that
Shouldn't be
Tyrael
true.
gets
Not
from
gonna
out of the
happen.
country. We're gonna put a 10%
Why would
tax,
they
but
release
you're not
a
gonna pay
report
$1
like
more.
that for China to read? We're vulnerable here.
China.
She said they're idiots. That's a good word. Who's the woman that said that? Stand, please. Who said that? That's very good. No, it's true. She says they're idiots. No, they released a report talking about all of the vulnerable areas. We need more this, we need more that. We're weak here, we're weak there. I don't know who does this report. Why would you release a report like that? So after years, that's like saying we have no ammunition.
Just feel.
Ladies and
What
gentlemen,
do
we
you
have
do
no
after your
ammunition
19?
at the time
You had
with
to
the
been a little
United States
nervous
of
coming
America.
into
You know
me,
why?
Turtle.
We
Let's
gave it
talk
all
through
up
your
to Ukraine
emotional
and various
spectrum
other
here.
places. We gave
You're
everything.
showing up
Empty our warehouses
on the
of
job.
all
You're
of our
16 for
ammunition. Let's give
17.
it to
People are saying,
people
can
free
the
of
guy keep
charge,
going?
free of charge, cost
Like,
billions.
can he
Free
keep
of
going?
charge.
This
Everything's
doesn't
always free of
mathematically
charge.
make sense,
So after years
right?
of horrific
Yeah.
depletion,
And then you come in today.
with
Were
the
you sweating a little
comrade,
bit? Was World War III
our
making you sweat a little
missiles,
bit?
airplanes,
World War III was
ammunition to
making
other
me sweat
countries, I will
after he
make a
edged us
historic
on it like
investment in
4
rebuilding
times,
the US
dude.
Armed
I
Forces.
was
did that
definitely
once
sweating a
before,
little bit.
but I have to do it again because
But
they
you know, like
depleted
I
it,
definitely
just
spend a
like
good
they
amount of
depleted
time
the
doing the
strategic oil
analysis
reserves.
and the
We have
research on these
strategic-
picks before I'm
in all
going
due
into it.
respect, it's not for
There's a
filling
lot
up your
of
car so that you have
Did
analyzing
you
I do
expect him to
before
say
I.
Third World War
gallon less,
twice
and that you
before
vote
you got to
for
World
Hell
War
no.
II?
Crooked Joe.
Hell no,
It's not
man.
meant for that. It's
Like,
meant for war.
dude, the fact that he edged
It's
us like
meant for
that, come on,
tragedy. It's
dude. That
meant
was
for
killing
real
me.
stuff. It's
But
at the
hey, we
lowest
made it out
point
on the other
today
side. He
in
circled
its
back,
history.
and he
We almost
even
have
got us
nothing
in
left.
some nice bonus hits on Iran there. So
Yeah,
all
KD.
good stuff, dude.
So there's a Tim Walz speech tonight. Tyrio likes abortion. Yes, there's really good volume there. He likes Coach.
Huge spread
Co-
there, so throw some bids
Coach
in.
has a huge spread there, so you'd want to just throw in some bids down in like the high 70s. He likes JD Vance. Sorry about that. Decent spread. You can definitely throw in a bid on that. And then he likes actually debate no for a little bit of a potential juicier return. Also probably want to throw a bid on that.
Yeah, if you're looking like for the absolute strongest pick, abortion, yes. It's very fairly priced at mid 70s. It should be higher, in my opinion. Definitely grab some abortion, yes. And also, you know, if you're looking for a good value play there, debate no, strong play.
Look at this fucking market right here, man. What a cook. 8Xer.
Holy hell. Did some news just drop?
Yeah, he's got a
Or-
presser on Friday.
Okay. Interesting. So that materialized extremely quickly. Yeah, it went from rumor talk to here we are within like a couple days.
Katie, and the easiest way to find it would be to you're spelling it like Waltz, like the dance. Take the T out of it. And you can search WALZ in the markets. That's why you should have picked Shapiro, right? If people can't spell the person's name, that's a red flag for VP. And we're just bitter because we had money on Shapiro. Fuck tampon.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
you also can go to new to find some of the markets easier. The new tab.
If I could go back in time, dude, I would have pulled all the liquidity we had on Shapiro that day before when he was outside playing basketball.
I know,
Yeah.
dude. I know. That's like
Oh
one of
my
those things where
God.
you know you're losing, but you're still holding on to hope. Like you're emotionally invested.
Yeah, dude, I got way too emotionally attached to that trade, and that was a big mistake. Hey, you know what? It happens to the best of us.
It happens to the best of us, man.
I don't know. My advisors are fired. No, we'd rather keep it on policy, but sometimes it's hard when you're attacked from all ends. I mean, they want to put you
Am I
in
lagging
jail
super hard on
for
your end, or is
nothing.
it
For nothing.
or is it on your end?
For cases that the
the speech
legal
lagging?
scholars all over the country have
Now,
said
like your
there is
videos,
no
like
case,
flash the
and they
speech,
want
so
to
like,
put
a
you
little
in
choppy on my end.
jail. And I could have done that to Hillary Clinton. I could have put her in jail. She turned away subpoenas and she
Let me just refresh. Oh, express that. Look at those outfits. Wow.
Oh, baby.
Got a little too much of a beer gut for the skinny fit, but I like it. I like it. Perfect stable piece, 5.5.
And there's no feeling as, wouldn't it be terrible? But we won the big case in Florida. That was totally wrong.
Abortion only 75% for Waltz, should
And
be
Biden
100%.
didn't.
Yeah, I think that's the best value
You know,
pick out
Biden
of
documents,
Tyriel's
I had
picks
the Presidential
because
Records Act. I had a right to do
abortion's been
whatever I
mentioned
wanted
by
to
like
do.
pretty
That was
much every
passed
keynote speaker
in,
so
like,
far. The DNC.
1978.
Tyriel also
But
did
Biden didn't
research.
have a right to do
He's
'cause he
mentioned
wasn't
abortion at
president,
multiple of
and he
his
was there for
previous speeches,
50
right,
years.
Tyriel?
He took stuff
Yep.
and
That's a common rally
The woman
line.
was basically
He's going
guilty
to talk
as
about
well,
Trump's national
but
abortion
he's
ban.
got
Highly
no
expect him
memory.
to use abortion.
He's a nice
Should
man
be
with no
priced in
memory.
the
Actually,
mid
they're
high
wrong.
80s.
He's not a nice man, and he has no memory. He's not a nice man at all. because he started weaponization. And weaponization is a double prong that can come back to haunt them too. It's a terrible thing for our country, I can tell you.
Man, I don't think he's going to give us a
Terrible thing
tampon,
for our
unfortunately.
country. We
No,
need
it's
a
getting
dramatic increase in research.
close to an
We
hour
need
here.
A very dramatic.
Yeah,
he'd have to hit it with an
And
outro.
in so doing,
That's more of
we
a
will
midstream,
create
get the
countless
crowd
American
going
jobs,
kind of thing.
including jobs right
Yeah.
here in a place called North Carolina. Do we love North
North Carolina, come on and raise up.
I'm a big fan of North
Laura Trump
Carolina.
is from North Carolina.
Used to play ball back in the day
And
down
her
there.
daughter,
Yeah, man.
Carolina,
What's a college? Played ball down there in Charlotte.
Wife.
Love North Carolina.
of
It
Eric.
looks
Great
like
state.
the RFK market's about to go to
That he's the
100
husband
because
of
he
Laura,
said
which
he said he's dropping out.
He's great. He's great, and it's a great.
So all the
couple, but she
dropouts
loves this
are going
place. She just loves it.
Wow.
To a
Congrats to
hundred.
everybody who picked those up.
And you
Yeah,
know,
let
she
me
comes
let me
and
pull up
she,
the
we
breaking
love her too.
news.
She's-
Breaking news: RFK will be dropping out of the race. ABC News is reporting. This comes just after news that Trump and RFK Jr. will both be in Phoenix on Friday. If you want to make literal free money, go to this market and buy the order book. On the notes, on the S side, I mean, they're at a presser together. He said he's dropping out.
Well, there we go.
Let's take the drop 25 grand. Just take it all the way up the top. There it starts. There it's going.
And you might see Trump now start to shift up a little bit more in polling and election odds now that
RCP
he's
polling
dropped
going
out.
down on Kamala, probably lost. And you know, timing wise, to kind of muddy out the waters, timing wise, Friday makes sense too.
Yeah, 100%. And dude, the fact that they're doing this on DNC week, that's actually really big for Trump, right? Because usually during convention weeks, parties get a nice uptick in polling and in interest because they just had this big event. It's like a big show, lots of positive vibes. Trump is just coming in there. He's hit him with counter programming every single day this week. And now he's just going after they finish on day 4 with this announcement of RFK endorsing him. So really strong play here by the Trump team. This is a massive deal that he got this done. Assuming that this is all correct. But yeah, this was a huge win for Trump. I think I lost you.
You lost me?
Maybe you are there. The choppy. I don't know what's going on.
Guys, am
with
I chopping or is Tyrael chopping over there?
Hold on, let me change a little something.
If Tampon Tim's gonna hit, it's gonna hit here. Let me get back over the stream.
Newscomb helped, but she was terrible.
Might have been me.
It's crime-ridden, and you can't walk down the sidewalk anymore. It's just unbelievable what's happened to that state. So sad. Best weather, beautiful ocean, beautiful. Everything is good, but they've just let it go to hell. And she's going to do the same thing to the United States. And when she says, "I'll let you frack," her whole career she said no fracking. Pennsylvania in particular, no, because they get tremendous wealth from fracking. They're going to be stopped. 100% they're going to be stopped. She just changed her view a few months ago. You got to see, she ran against Biden.
So right here, he's got to pivot
There were
into
22 people
Walz.
running. She was the first to leave. She quit because she went down like that. And she was the first one out. She never made it to the first state in the primary. She never made it to Iowa. Never made it to Iowa. She didn't get one vote. And she still hasn't gotten one vote. And she won't have one vote. Think of it. Biden.
Tampon Boy's still slamming the order books.
Terrible president.
I love
What
it.
he did to our country. You look at him with the planes and the stairs and the falling all over the place. And he had no idea what the hell was happening. He couldn't find his way off a stage. A stair here, stair there, stair. I got stairs all over the place. He'd finish his speech and look around. Where am I? His speeches lasted. The nice part, it was good in the hot sun because they lasted for about 2 minutes and he could go home. But nobody
I still
would
believe
come
in
anyway.
tampons.
But we can't let her.
I'm rooting
She's
for
much
it.
much worse than him, actually.
Right here.
She's actually more radical. He never believed it. He just did it for votes. I don't know why you'd get votes by having open borders. You know, she wants open borders. If she became president in 4 years, you'd have 60 to 70 million people from all over the world. And it's not just South America. And remember, they're releasing them from their jails and their prisons. They're coming out of jails and prisons and mental institutions.
I don't think he hit Venezuela once, did he?
And we have hundreds and probably
This is where we would
thousands
hit it,
of
with the
terrorists
border
that have
talk.
come
Yeah.
into our country. We probably have a few here. Welcome, welcome. But we probably have a few.
Oh my God.
And she's all for it. And
Oh,
now
dude.
she's saying, and you see what she's saying.
He said, welcome.
Well, the wall
Dude.
was largely built. We were adding space
Dude, I think
onto the wall.
him and Theo Vaughn
We
have
built
more of a
hundreds of
similar sense
miles
of
of
humor than I
wall.
think most
I
people
actually
think,
took
and
it
I think
'cause
that's
Congress
probably
gave
why
us a
that
hard time
interview
and the
went down
Democrats
these
were brutal.
legendary
We had 11
rants, 'cause
lawsuits.
he
It was
just
so
looked
good.
colored.
And we won all
Yeah,
11,
it
but I
was
took
so
it out
good.
of the military. I called
Their
it an
chemistry was,
invasion
like,
of our country.
unparalleled,
It's an
dude.
invasion.
Yeah.
And we built hundreds of miles of wall.
Theo
And then
Vaughn
I
is just
was
that kind
gonna
of a
do
guy, though, who
200
can kind of like
extra.
chop
We
it up with
ordered it.
anybody.
It
You know,
was
he's
there.
a people's kind of
And
guy.
we had that rotten,
sure.
horrible election, that horrible election where we did much better than we did the first time. And bad things happened. And all of a sudden,
The
I hear
fucking
that they
country,
want to have
North
open
Carolina
borders.
guy. They cheat like
But there
hell.
was- who the hell wants open borders?
He has a
And then they
huge
said,
dip in
we'll
his
give you
mouth.
health care.
Oh my God.
What's up, Scooter? Did we do Walz or Pelosi speech? Yeah, we did.
Walz,
we did
yeah.
A
Walz.
couple of problems. Do you know
we
that we
like,
flew in
Abortion at
a
this
million
price
people,
is pretty good.
airplanes,
JD
over the top of the
Vance.
border, beautiful airplanes. They're flying
Was it
them
Army
in.
or teacher?
If you want to stop
Coach.
it, you're not flying them in.
No, coach.
On
Yeah,
airplanes.
we like
Teacher.
coach on
And many
the.
other
So those
things.
are
No,
all
they
on the
wanted open
yes,
borders,
and then on the
we have a
no
country
debate
that's loaded up
is
with
juicy for a
many,
little
many
stab
criminals
because you're
right
getting
now
better
of
odds.
They emptied their jails.
Yeah, and I haven't taken a
their
look at
spreads.
Pelosi.
They emptied their
Check the
mental
spreads. Make
institutions
sure you're
into our
not getting
country,
hosed by the order
largely.
book spread.
Now they're continuing
Put in a
to
limit
do it,
order.
but if you look at many of these countries that we're talking about,
There's
frankly,
no money on this
who
market.
can blame them? They're dropping their prisoners into the United States of America.
Just give some out for the boys.
They're dropping all of these people into the United States, including their
These
mental
aren't official
institution
picks. These don't
people.
count because you haven't had the
Any
prep
terrorist
time.
they
You haven't
have,
had
they're
any of
dropping
this.
them into the
This
United
is
States.
just bonus
They're
hours.
taking
It's fourth
hundreds
quarter.
of thousands of people.
I'm gonna
that
use the
were in
restroom real
jail
quick.
for
Yeah, what do
murder.
we got
Y'all
on
said
Pelosi?
Trump is
Look
over an
at
hour now.
Venezuela,
How
their
long
jails are
was it supposed to be? Trump will go
half.
anywhere
And
from
I'm
45
surprised
minutes to an
half,
hour and a
because
half.
frankly, I would have worked faster than
Scooter,
that
the
if I were
no on
running it.
that
I would
was
have had all of them out of
debate
there by
because
now. They go to Caracas, they
on the
take all
Walz
their
side, because
gang
Tyriel
members,
has done some
all of
research
their
and he
killers,
likes to
their
like,
murderers,
use
their
words
drug
other than
dealers,
debate
they
to
take them,
reference it. I'll be right
and they're
back.
putting them into the United States, and their crime is down 70%.
Yeah, debate. He'll probably use it in the
Next time
sense
what we'll
of
do, instead of
JD
North
Vance and I
Carolina,
are
we'll
going to
have our
sit
next
down for a little
gathering in
conversation on
Venezuela,
October
because it
1st.
will
He
be much
doesn't
safer
really
than being
talk
in our
directly
country.
about the
If these
debate.
people win, you're not going to have any
Usually
meetings,
uses
you're
as
not
kind of
gonna
like
have
a quip.
anything. There'll be chaos in our country.
Take a jab
We
at
just can't
JD
let it
and
happen.
be
We
relatable.
can't let it happen. We
The
can't let
Pelosi
it
market
happen.
here is
Remember
interesting.
when Biden sent Kamala to Europe to stop the war in
Stocks,
Ukraine?
Joe
She met
Biden
with
3+
Putin,
times,
and
January
then 3 days
6th.
later, he attacked. How did she do? You think she did a good job?
Social
She
Security,
met with
convicted
Putin to tell him
felon.
don't do it. And 3
Yeah, a
days
lot of
later,
interesting
he
ones
attacked.
here.
That's when the attack started. Did
I
you
need to
know
look a
that,
little bit
General?
into what
He
the
should have
theme
sent
of the
you.
DNC speech is tonight.
over
That'll give me a little bit more
a
context on
500,000 they
this.
say are dead or
And we also need
wounded, but
to
it's a
look
much
at
higher
the
number
length
than
of
that.
this talk
And
from
everything
Pelosi,
lies
right?
in the
I would
book.
imagine
Look,
it's going to be a keynote speech,
We are
but
going to
don't know. Keynote
fight like
speeches
hell
usually
to
last
win this
anywhere from 15 to
election.
30 minutes. Without a lot of
They
context,
are
hard to say much.
going to cheat
However,
like
this
hell
could
to
potentially
win
be a
the
no
election,
market
because
when
they
you
have
think
no
about
bounds. They have no
the
bounds.
length of the speech
I've said to some Republicans once,
and then given whatever
in a
context they do
place
give us
called
on it.
Philadelphia, which I love.
But
I
just
went
off
to
the initial
school in
rip, I think like
Philadelphia,
something like
but
healthcare is
it's
interesting,
suffering
democracy is
tremendously, like
interesting,
Chicago, like every Democrat-run city is
Social
suffering.
Security is
But I said,
interesting.
like, why do we allow them to do it?
Don't
The
think she's
Republicans
going
do
to talk
what
about
they do with the
stocks. That's
stuffing
kind
of
of
taxes, with all
kind
the
of a
different
weird
things they do.
toss
Sure,
in there.
we're proud Americans.
January
And
6th
that's
is
really the right
also
thing to
a
say.
potential interesting
they
one.
have-
She could use like the insurrectionist January 6th attack line on Trump. That's a favorite one of hers. Thank you 5+ times is interesting. So like really what you're betting on here with the thank you X plus times is how long the ovation is going to be for that particular person. So if they're a keynote speaker, if they're extremely popular, they're going to get a bigger ovation than just a normal person. Nancy Pelosi is one of the big wigs of the Democrat Party. That said, I don't think she's like loved in the sense like a Barack Obama, a Hillary Clinton. So I don't know. This is an interesting one. I wouldn't stab on the yes here. It feels a little bit riskier to me. Convicted felon is also an attack line of Pelosi and the Democrats. However, they've been using language that's been like similar to convicted felon in cases and not directly there, right? So they'll be like, they'll say felony convictions or felon on its own, but convicted felon has only been used a few times in a lot of the keynote addresses. So you could get edged on convicted felon if you're taking the yes here. Maybe it's interesting at a bit of a lower price on the yes, but that's one like this World War III market where we got edged a bit by Trump there for a while. You could get edged if you take convicted felon. So it's one to be a little careful on.
Did Trump hit Venezuela while I was gone?
Did he?
No.
No.
Looks like everything's dropping to 1. I think he ended here.
Finally quit. I mean, yeah, he went for over an hour. Definitely went hard there. Yeah, man. I mean, we cooked on this market. Like, not mad that the flyer live bets we took on tampon and green new scam didn't hit. They're flyers.
Change you're throwing around. You're up. You're like, hey, let me buy a hot dog. Let me put 5 on this.
Yeah, man. We were already cooking hard. Hit some great returns on Comrade Kamala.
Yeah,
Iran
that
3+.
Really, and I mean, here's the thing: is like that phrase will never be priced below 85% until he stops using it.
It was criminally underpriced yesterday in the 60s. I'm going like, people just are behind on this one. This is way off. Then tampon got way overpriced, and again, I think it's as you're speaking on earlier, there's like some market bias here that goes on.
Yeah,
like when something
bias.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when something hits in the last speech, you automatically assume it's going to hit here. But again, these markets are extremely dependent on context. You got to look into what, the speech is going to be.
Yeah. Like ceasefire no was interesting based on like your argument. Cause wow, holy shit. The yes went up to 69% this morning because, of your like thought process on like ceasefire or something the Democrats are pushing. So like, why would he doesn't want to be like piling on to things they say first. Like he would rather just ignore those things. Right. Like similarly, like they're going to try on their own end to avoid saying those kinds of things. Well, dude, that's fucking awesome. We're flow bias. Yell says that sounds great, man. I love that terminology. I was going to say something, but I'm keeping it PG-13 here. So where are we at? Hour 28. We got work to do, but we'll stay here for just like another 10 minutes and just poke around and look at some other stuff. We got to let Tyriel, go get some lunch. He needs his pastrami salami sandwich after a win like that. Nice little pickle on the side and some chips. What's your best flavor of chips? What's your go-to right now?
Oh, dude, the Maui onion. Man, they're so good. They got this like Hawaiian brands, Maui onion chips. Oh, it's the move, dude.
So Trump with the lead here. But we talked about before other ways you can express that better. It's almost interesting if that was like kind of like a tell on the whole RFK move, and then that RFK market super juicy. Congrats whoever hit that.
Yeah, that was a cook for anybody who took that yesterday. It's funny, we were looking at that one on the stream yesterday, and I was kind of like, I don't know. And hey, that one ended up ripping, dude. So congrats to anybody who took that one. Yeah, I mean, I think Donald Trump here at 52, it's maybe a little overpriced, but probably pretty accurate to real odds when you think about the Kennedy votes that are going to consolidate over to the Trump side now. Massive win for Trump. What other new markets do we have here?
Yeah, and I still, man, I don't know. It's not trending good right now for Kamala Harris. So I don't love my popular vote winner as much. But I think if her campaign starts to have some issues or like post debate, maybe there's some issues. It, Donald Trump's chance of being a popular vote winner could go up, and you could get a better deal on that. But I still like the no on Donald Trump. I just think it's really hard to popular vote for him. He's trying to win in the swing states, right? He's trying to win a
Yeah.
couple 100,000 voters. He's not like trying to go to California and like win 1 million. So I still like that. But yeah, like new markets, we got RFK endorses. Man, I have like speed. I think I had a mini stroke yesterday or something. I literally said endorsals, like a dorsal fin instead of endorses. Like I don't even know how my brain did that inside my head. We got Trump mentions at DNC day 3. This stuff is roulette. I stay away from those markets so hard. It's just like you cannot develop an edge on that.
No,
Like
not
you can't
not at
develop an
all.
edge.
And one thing that really happened, so yesterday they threw out the market last minute, right, on Trump over under 100 mentions, and I was kind of like, all right, whatever, dude. I'm gonna put a little flyer bet on yes over 100. Didn't read the rules. Then I'm like, okay, let me look into this a little deeper after I threw the little flyer on it. Well, only mentions on the main stage from a speaker counted. So if they played a live video, like an attack ad, or like anything from like a video of like a Trump reporter or a former Trump voter on TikTok, those did not count, right? So like mention count was drastically lower than what everybody thought. People started reading the rules and they were like, oh shit. And price just tanked like super quickly. They ended up at a total of 47 mentions last night. So it was barely under the marker. Then the market got disputed twice on the mentions. So now all that liquidity is just like locked into that market for a minimum of 2 days because now UMA has to go through and vote on it. They have to decide whether, where they're going to rule. Then Polymarket's got to come in and like approve that resolution. So these dudes are going to have their capital locked up in that thing. Best case scenario.
He just trolled $500.
Yeah, like best case scenario Saturday, dude. Like, what's this guy Billy on here? He's traded like a ton of volume and he's like somehow still negative in profit.
What
dude
is his
just like
argument?
He's arguing about the stuff during roll call. So during roll call, people said Trump's name, but they weren't on main stage, but they were like conversing with the person who was on the main stage. So by the definition of the rules, it shouldn't count. But, again, this is going to be a UMA dispute. Like, you don't want to get into that mess. I mean, it took them. Did they ever resolve the Venezuela election market? That took weeks for them to find a resolution. If they ever did, I don't remember how that ended up finishing. But yeah, like anything that you can get your capital tied up in a rules debate for weeks, just like steer away from that, man. Like, you don't want to be on the wrong side of that.
Yeah, there's no liquidity in the Pete market. That'll probably be the sign to the Polymarket team that they've, you
Overdid
can't just
it.
fire these things up like same day when there's multiple other markets with liquidity that people are, going to trade in.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Corey Lewandowski named Trump campaign manager.
It's an interesting one. I mean, Trump has fired multiple campaign managers in his other campaigns. They've always been done late in the game, August, September timeline. Like it's definitely a chance. And, if Trump feels like things aren't going well, I could very well see him doing that. And you could tell he already is feeling that a little bit, right? By the fact that he even brought Lewandowski back onto the campaign. Lewandowski was his campaign manager back in 2016. He was the one who took over for whomever the person was back then that he felt was failing. And he took it across the line for Trump. So you got to wonder, like, hey, is Trump going to try to like run the same playbook back?
All right, let's see. Volume. You can't even do volume by newest. Yeah, man. I say we wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we're in a good.
We'll kind of just ramble at this point. hell of a thing. Yep, we got our Walz picks in 3 for 3 on Trump, Kamala tomorrow night. We're gonna keep the cook. We're gonna keep the cook. Thanks for spending time with us. If you were here watching, if you had money on the markets, hope you made some of them greenbacks. You can go take them. You can go buy some crypto. You can go buy some Bitcoin. You can go buy a sandwich. You can pay your rent, whatever you want. Once again, none of this financial advice. We're just playing around, having a good time. If you tell us on the things we like, that is you being a grown-ass adult, and you get to live with the consequences of your wins and of your losses. But absolute blast. Cheers. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.